As you get older and you've had a busy week, sometimes you just don't feel like going out. There are Saturday nights where you just want to park your ass on the couch, order a pizza, and find a good movie. Now, lucky for us, in the year of our Lord 2023, you could find a movie that is still in the theaters but available to rent. Now, it's going to cost you $20, but you get to sit at home on your couch. Pause it if you need to. Watch it from the comfort of your own home. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, the perfect type of movie for a lazy night at home is a good horror film. I love horror films, always have. We've had some pretty good ones in the past year. X, Knock at the Cabin, and Megan are all recent films in the horror genre that were fun original stories that were well received and made money. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Evil Dead Rise was released to the theaters. Now, this is not an original story. It takes place in the Evil Dead universe, and those of you who love 80s horror movies are probably fans of this series. Evil Dead 1 and 2, they're great, and Army of Darkness is an absolute cult classic. These movies star actor Bruce Campbell, the self-described king of the B-movies. But also, they launched the career of filmmaker Sam Raimi, who has been at the helm of the original Spider-Man series and other successful films as well. So here we sit with another addition to another existing movie franchise. We've been down this road before, and most of the times, it hasn't gone very well. And I had no intention of seeing this film. And if it wasn't for the perfect storm of laziness, tiredness, and really nothing else on, I would have probably just skipped it. So, is it worth your time and your money? Or is it just another forgettable reboot/remake of a far superior original story? Well, let's do a little dive into the plot and see. So our story begins with cousins Teresa and Jessica's new boyfriend Caleb, vacationing at a lakeside cabin when a seemingly ill Jessica scalps Teresa and decapitates Caleb before levitating above the lake. So then we flash one day earlier and find Beth, an upset guitar technician who has found out that she is pregnant. Beth decides to visit her sister Ellie, a struggling tattoo artist and single mother to teenagers Danny and Bridget and child Casey, in their home at the Monday Apartments in Los Angeles. The building is condemned, and the family will be forced to move out within the next couple weeks. However, an earthquake strikes while the children are in its basement parking lot, and they uncover a concealed chamber. Danny decides to investigate, discovering religious artifacts, 3 records from 1923, and a strange-looking book that he takes up to his room, believing he could possibly sell it and use the money to help his mother. He plays the records and finds that they are recordings of a rejected effort by a priest to research the book, revealed to be one of 3 volumes of the Book of the Dead. The subsequent record reveals the priest continued his research in secret and recites an incantation that summons demonic entities known as Deadites. Now, at this point, the building's power fails, and we find an isolated Ellie on an elevator. She is then violently attacked and possessed by an unseen force. She then returns to the apartment in a trance, menacingly threatening her family, and dies after pleading with Beth to protect her children from what befell her. The movie then becomes a desperate attempt by Beth to save Ellie's 3 children from the fate that befell their mother. Much like many horror movies, the main cast, generally lesser-known performers. Actress Lily Sullivan plays Beth. Now, she's mostly been in Australia performing. And Alyssa Sutherland plays Ellie. Now, the only thing I recognize her from is the part of Queen Aslong from the History Channel television series Vikings. Hell, none of your other performers even have their own Wikipedia pages, just to fill you in on how unknown they are. Also, making his American directorial debut is Irish filmmaker Lee Cronin. Now, Lee had a choice here. He could stick with what had worked in the past, or he could change things around to make a new story. Now, we've been seeing that a lot recently. A new director or writer comes into an established IP and decides he wants to put his own imprint on it. Now, the problem with this line of thinking, however, is it's not a new story. It's an established franchise. Changing it too much takes away from it. And here's where I'll give credit to Lee. He hits all the right notes that fans of the franchise expect, even down to the shotgun and chainsaw. Now, shooting it mostly in a dark and cramped apartment really ramps up the tension. The claustrophobic atmosphere really adds to it. And there is even several instances of setup and payoff with this film. So if you watch it, pay attention to what's going on. Acting is generally strong across the board. The two leads are convincing. Even the kids are played well. And at no time do I feel like the characters do stupid stuff just to keep the story going. Now, I will warn you, this is bloody and gory. Both Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are involved in the production here, which probably is why the story sticks to the established rules of the franchise. So do I recommend it? Well, if you like horror movies, blood, and gore, and you are an Evil Dead fan, I absolutely do. It's a carnage fest, sticking to the themes of the franchise and adding to them. It's a welcome addition. And at 90 minutes long, it's the perfect length, telling a good story without overstaying its welcome. It knows exactly what it is and exactly what it wants to accomplish. The perfect movie for a tired old man after a long week. So let's give this movie a 7 out of 10 and a recommendation. See it in the theaters or at home. It works either way. And as always, if you like what you heard, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend. Let's get the word out. And if you haven't and you didn't like it, well, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better next time. Have a good week.